Welcome to the Annie Jennings PR Real Stories of Success podcast series. Annie Jennings is the creator of the most powerful radio campaign in the country, where you are booked on high market, high impact shows and top markets, as well as national TV, print, and online media performance program, where she offers guaranteed deliverables. My name is Stacey Emerald Kaufman. I'm radio director for Annie Jennings PR. Today, we're sharing another real story of success to give listeners an inside look into what it's like to work with Annie Jennings. And today, we're talking with Dr. Willie Jolley. He is co-author, along with his wife, Dee-Taylor Jolley, of the book Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last, 10 Secrets to Shape a Great Marriage. And he signed on with Annie Jennings PR for 12 radio interviews, but received much more. And overall, he and his wife were heard on over 350 stations across the country. CBS Radio, Fox News Radio, iHeartMedia, that's all major media brands that featured the Jolleys in top markets such as Chicago, Houston, Boston, Phoenix, San Diego, just to name a few. And of course, we can't forget the national shows where they were heard coast to coast. So, Dr. Willie Jolley, thank you for joining us again.
It's always a pleasure, a joy, a treasure to be on with you and to talk about our relationship, which is not just this book, Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last, but has been over about 20 years since I started writing books and getting them out into the marketplace. My first book was It Only Takes a Minute to Change Your Life. I had a small publisher who published it with me. I was a new author. I knew nothing about publishing, and I sold it at the back of my car and at my speeches. And as a result of that, I was able to get picked up by a big publisher, St. Martin's Press, who signed me to a 2-book deal, and they put the It Only Takes a Minute to Change Your Life book out in paperback. And then the book that took me around the world, A Setback is a Setup for a Comeback, came out. And that's when I met you guys. So the first book, I did the traditional media tour, going from city to city to do media that St. Martin's underwrote. And it was fine, okay? And then when that tour was over, I started getting calls from PR companies. And they would say, well, here's what we recommend. You give us $5,000 or $3,000 or $4,000, whatever, a month for 4, 5, 6 months, and we'll do the PR for your book. And so I tried one for 3 months. I don't remember what the price was, probably $3,000 at that point. I didn't have much money. And at the end of that time, they said, oh, well, we tried. I said, what? We didn't get any interviews. And the money has gone down the drain. Well, we tried. So I called my friend Les Brown. I said, hey, what happened here? He said, oh, this is the first lesson of getting a best-selling book. Don't blow away a lot of money with traditional PR companies, because most of them are not invested. They have no skin in the game. They say they'll try, and at the end of the time period, they've done their try and didn't get a result. Well, that's the chance you take. He said, you want to get a performance-based PR company who puts their mouth where their money is and their money where their mouth is, whether they're going to get paid from their results. And I was able to learn about Annie Jennings PR, and she took that Setback book and went to work, and that book became a national bestseller, then an international bestseller. And from that day to this, every time I have a book deal, whether it's turned setbacks into greenbacks, I call Annie Jennings. Whether it's re-releases of the Setback Setup for a Comeback in paperback, call Annie Jennings a couple years after the hardcover came out. And then with this marriage book, I knew, since we were putting it on our own imprint, that we were the publishing company rather than anybody else, that I was going to, as the publisher as well as the author, call Annie Jennings PR. And as always, they did what they said. So I've been telling people for years, you can blow a lot of money with these other PR companies who don't give you any guarantees, no commitment. They'll do their best. Oh, yeah, right. Well, that's not how the world works. The world doesn't work for people to say, well, I'll try and build your house, or I'll try and give you a car that gets you from point A to point B. You got to deliver. And that's what they do. They say they're going to get you interviews. That's what they do. They tell you that they're going to be A stations. That's what they do. And so then, though, it's on the author to sell that book. They can get you on the stations, but if you cannot sell your book, if you cannot get an understanding of how to talk in sound bites, how to be clear, quick, efficient, effective in small bits of time, then you're not going to sell books. So they got to do their job, and then the author have to do their job. And so I'm grateful. I've learned over the years how to do a good interview, how to be on there quick, and then also how to pivot. If somebody comes with a topic area or a concept or question that does not fit my answer that I have in my mind, then I've got to pivot to get to that answer to sell this book. And that's what Annie Jennings and her team get you. They get you on the air. They get you the interviews. And if they don't get you the interviews, you don't pay them. That's performance-based. I let me say it again, highly recommend Annie Jennings PR. They get the job done.
Well, I'll tell you, Willie, you aren't lying. That's for sure. When you're talking about how you have to know how to talk in sound bites, you have to know how to sell anything, because you were doing a great job, and you answered a lot of the questions that I had for you. But just to kind of reiterate a couple of things I talked about within the introduction about how you sign on for a certain number of shows, but you get so much more. Can you talk a little bit about the value of the radio campaign?
I was very impressed that this year I saw something I don't remember from the past seeing this. I'm sure I did, but the former years it was always paid for by my publisher. So you probably had that conversation with them. This year I paid for it, and I was most impressed with not only did you get the number of interviews that we had contracted, but then if the contract or the contact was a syndicated, it might be 100 stations, but you count it as one. That was powerful. I thought that was profound. That it might be no matter how many stations reached that syndicate, you still count that as one credit. I thought that was great. And then the other thing, great value and being fair, was that you made a guarantee of A stations, A level stations. Or what happens if a B-level station just hears about it, or you talk to them and they say, we want this guy? You don't even charge me for that. That is quality, that is excellence, and that is a great organization that works well for authors. But we got limited money. We got to make the most of every dollar. We got to make that dollar holler. We got to make it stretch. We got to really get a lot of bang for our buck. So I just highly recommend Annie Jennings and her team. And then I also want everybody to go and get a free copy of a chapter from the book, Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last. Go to jollymarriage.com, jollymarriage.com, and get a free chapter, and then get a couple copies of the book. If you're in a relationship, get 2 copies.
Willie, just one more thing. If someone is sitting there and thinking about working with Annie, what would you say to them?
Here's what I'd say. First of all, I'd say understand that they are serious about success. You know, one of the things I like about a pro is they're going to tell you the truth. They're going to be friendly. They're going to be frank. They're going to be fair. They're going to be focused on a positive result. Annie is a great lady. She's the real deal. But she's going to tell you the truth, and she's going to tell you that if you're not getting the kind of responses from the host, if they get a constant barrage of responses back after they put you on the air that this guy is slow, is not talking, is hard to interview, is not easy to work with, then they're going to let you know that too, because you're throwing away your money if you won't take their counsel. So that's one thing. Second thing I want to say about Annie and her team is that they will work with your schedule. They'll work with your schedule because I know everybody's busy and trying to do a lot of things. So they'll work with your schedule and make sure that the interviews will be aligned with your availability. I really like that because they work with my scheduler to make sure I was available, and if I couldn't make it, they would make the change and call the host. So it really has been a great relationship and a great partnership, and I highly recommend others do it. I was recently at a conference, National Speakers Association conference, and they had a big publishing um, breakout session. And during the breakout session, they were throwing around, what you should do to get on the bestseller list, this and that, and this and that. I raised my hand and said, look, I'm going to tell y'all the truth. Let me tell y'all the truth. Some of these things y'all are talking about are not going to work because I've tried them. They don't work. You're throwing away your money. Some of this stuff will throw away your money. I'm recommending that you try Annie Jennings because it works. This is not a if, a hope. I think I'll try. They get the job done. And you pay them for getting the job done and not for trying to get the job done. And that's what I like about it.
Hey, that's what we like about it too, Willie. We want to see you guys be successful. We want to see everybody enjoy that and know what they're getting and get the value, get more than what they pay for with Annie Jennings. And, of course, anytime you talk to Willie, that's what you get with him too. Way more than you pay for, what you expected. Willie, you are always so great. Tell Dee we love her too. Everyone can, yes, find the book. As Willie mentioned, your free chapter on their website, which is jollymarriage.com. Jolly with an E for enthusiasm. Right, Willie?
That's right. JOLLEY for enthusiasm. That's right.
That's right. Jollymarriage.com. So thanks for joining us, Willie.
Thank you. Thank you, and continue to do the great work. And thank you for what you do for authors all over the country and around the globe.
All right, this podcast is presented by Annie Jennings of the national publicity firm Annie Jennings PR. For more information on how you too can experience national media success and guaranteed deliverables, please